Well, today I want to talk about the death day. Last week I made a post and I said I'm thinking and preparing for that death day, and everyone was asking me, Abana, are you fine? Is everything okay? Are you sick? Thinking about that final day and preparing for it. People call it people look at it in a certain way and they think it is something that is bad. We have people who have refused to make wills because they think maybe by making a will you are about to die, maybe you invite your death to come closer, and a lot of things around that. But as I was reading the Bible says that one's death day is better than one's birthday. Think about it. Your parents were very happy when you were born. Everyone was celebrating. Up to today, you organize parties, invest in a lot of money, celebrate your birthday. But the Bible says that your death day is better than your birthday. That means we need to invest a lot of money in preparation for that final day. We need to be more ready for that death day than even the birthday. But how prepared? How prepared are you for your death day? And are you organizing for it? Do you think about it? There is beauty. There's a lot of beauty in that final day. So I want to share with you briefly about that final day. That final day, contrary to our birthday, the people who were born just on the street, their mothers just went into labor on the street and they produced them. There are people whose parents were not happy, probably because this was a pregnancy that was out of preparation and therefore they weren't ready for it. That those that were born probably in gardens and you had no control over your birthday. But look, the good news is that you have control over your death day. For fact, all of us are going to die. So we don't need to debate that. So all of us are finally going to run that last lap of our life. But when that time comes, the Bible says that is a beautiful day, that one's death day is better than one's birthday. So ladies and gentlemen, we need to prepare for this day. We cannot afford to mess it up. Your birthday could have been messed up. You may not have had an opportunity to have a very beautiful birthday, even as you celebrate it today. But you cannot afford to mess up your final day. If there is anything worth working for, is that final day, because that final day is celebrated both here on earth and even in heaven for those that are Christians. While your master says, "Well done, my faithful servant, you have done a great job." So that final day, the Bible says it is a beautiful day. Do you think about it? I want to challenge you to think about that final day. You can imagine that on that day your wife or your husband will be there. Your children will be there. Your friends will be there. Your teachers will be there. Your workmates will be there. And the question is, what will those people say about you on that final day? You may not have received a wonderful speech on your birthday because nobody had a clue of who you are, whether you are going to be a thief or a responsible person in community. But here you have arrived. Everyone is seeing you. Everyone is seeing the works that you are doing. The question is, what are they going to say on that final day? Ladies and gentlemen, you have an opportunity today to prepare for that final day. Your children are going to give a speech on that day, and they'll be saying, "Mommy, Daddy was such and such a wonderful person." On your birthday, nobody would say such a speech about you. Nobody had a clue about you. Ladies and gentlemen, on that day, your boss at work, your workmates are going to say something about you. You can imagine how beautiful it will be. Ladies and gentlemen, your wife or husband is going to talk about you. How sweet you have been, how lovely you have been, or how terrible you have been. What I'm talking about is that day is going to be a beautiful day. And the good news is that you have control over that wonderful day. Miles Munro in his audios used to say, "On my death day, I want people to appear in white and not in black because it will be a good day." Ladies and gentlemen, that day is coming. But when it comes, have you prepared for it? You have an opportunity of preparing the speech of every speaker on that day. While your sister is speaking, while your mother is speaking, while your friend is speaking, you have an opportunity of designing their speech today. I want to encourage you that start preparing for that day. The earlier you start, the better. For you to know that my friend, for example, I have a friend called Job, my best friend. For me to know that Job, if I go before him, he will give a speech on that day. I have to prepare for what he will say, because he will not lie. So if I want him to say that Abban was a good guy, I better be good to Job right now. If my wife is going to speak, which she has to, I have to prepare for that speech today. Be a nice person, or else she will not lie that I am nice, yet I've been a terrible guy. You have an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to design that day. If you want people to say you constructed a number of buildings, you have an opportunity to do that now. If you want billions of people to say, he impacted our life, she impacted our lives. If you want that, you have an opportunity to do it now. That is why the Bible says that your death day is more important than your birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you want that day to look like? Try to picture and see if there is somebody that you have maybe done wrong to. This is the time to apologize. Apologize to that person. Start a completely new journey with that person, so that on that day, that person will give a very wonderful speech about you. It is a day that excites me. It is a day that I think about, and I get so excited more than my birthday. Because I imagine, I'm like, Abban, what is the world going to say about you? What are people going to remember about you? And if you have done beautiful things, it will be absolutely an amazing day. You may not be there. You may not be there to attend and listen, but I want to believe that it will be the best day of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, refuse to die without beautifying that day. Refuse to die without accomplishing what brought you here on planet. There is always joy. For those that are in Uganda, we have our famous Kiprotich, the famous runner. Whenever he is leaving the country, of course we are happy that he is going to represent us. But the amount of joy that we have when he returns cannot be compared to the joy that we have while he is leaving. Because on the day of return, there is celebration. When our soldiers are going for battle, we are happy that they are going to fight. But the joy that we have on their return is not compared to the joy that we have when they are leaving. Why? Because at the point of return, there is accomplishment. There is a story that we can talk about. I want to encourage you that while you are running your race in life, it's not for forever. It's going to come to an end one day. But when it comes to an end, what is the story behind your name? In other words, make sure you do what brought you here on earth, and as you're doing it, beautify people's speeches about you. I know people are going to speak. These days we have internet. We are going to remember you. Years later, we are going to remember you. What are we going to remember about you? Ladies and gentlemen, until you are told that Nelson Mandela died, until you are told that men like Miles Munro died, you may think they are still alive. They are still quoted in speeches. They are still talked about as best examples you can imagine when somebody is training leadership and is quoting Nelson Mandela, as if today leaders are not living. That shows how men lived their lives and beautified their final days, and their final days have never passed. Ladies and gentlemen, on that day, while everyone has gathered, what do you want people to say about you? You have control over that day because you can prepare for it now. Just start from your house. If you are a father, ask yourself, what will my children say about me when I am going, or when I am gone? What will my wife say? Try to beautify that speech as much as you can. Otherwise, that is the reason why we are here, to live a meaningful life so that when we are gone, we have left a wonderful legacy. Your life is a book. You have an opportunity to write the chapters of that book. You do not write them when you are 60. You start writing them right from your birth. Ladies and gentlemen, I already feel like we have wasted a lot of time, but it is never too late to start. Start beautifying that book so that whoever reads it on that final day will read it with a smile. Ladies and gentlemen, you have control over the chapters of your book. Make your life book so beautiful that it will never run out of market. That even when you have gone, people will still read about your life. People will still talk about your life with a lot of excitement and a smile on their face. May God bless you as you start to think about that final day, because the Bible says your death day is better than your birthday, and I want to believe that that is true. Let us start beautifying that day, that we may all be happy wherever we shall be as people celebrate us here on earth. May you start preparing today. You have already wasted a lot of time, but you can redefine your life. You can start on your first beautiful chapter of your life book. If I am there and I'm the one to read your book, I will happily do it. If you are there to read my book, it will be a wonderful moment as well. Be blessed as you start to prepare and think about your final day and how best you can beautify it.